Hello Nintendo fans, I'm Rockinex and this is Mundo N, ready to tell you the origin of each of the characters in Mario Kart World. To do so, we'll go in chronological order and take into account the first release date of the game in which each character appeared, since sometimes the games came out first in Japan and others in America. We would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed with the bell icon and left us a powerful like. It would help us a lot. We'll start with Mario, Donkey Kong and Paulin, the oldest of the roster, who made their debut in the Donkey Kong arcade on July 9, 1981. As I'm sure you already know, their roles there put Mario as the hero, DK as the villain and Paulin as the damsel that the mustachioed man had to rescue. On the other hand, Mr. Green Mustache, Luigi, Mario's brother, was not born in the arcade, but first saw the light in the game and watch Game Mario Bros. On March 14, 1983, where the brothers were not plumbers, but worked loading packages of bottles onto a truck. Next up is Sidestepper Greyho, who did make his debut in the Mario Bros. Arcade game on June 21, 1983. This was a type of beast that Mario and Luigi had to get rid of while cleaning the sewer pipes. Starting on September 13, 1985, the world saw a Lumba, Koopa Troopa, Piranha Plant, Lakitu, Chip Chip, Hammer Bro, Toad, Bowser, and Princess Peach for the first time. Obviously in Super Mario Bros. For the NES, Princess Peach and Toad were kidnapped by Bowser and his minions, who eventually joined them as racers in Mario Kart World. On July 10, 1987, Yumeko Doki Doki Panic was released for the Famicom Disk System. This game gave rise to the origins of the following characters: Shishgai, Pokey, and Bird. These are the only three characters from Mario Kart World who did not appear in a Super Mario title. Later, Doki Doki Panic was reskinned and renamed Mario 2. However, these characters were originally created with nothing to do with the Mario series. Bones, Rocky the Mole, and Spitball all have the good fortune of having first appeared in Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Famicom ones as super iconic enemies since its release on October 23, 1988. Now let's move on to a very energetic princess, Daisy, the monarch of Sarazaland, who originated in Super Mario Land, a game that was first released on April 21, 1989. There, similar to Peach and Paulin, she was the one Mario had to save, only not from the clutches of Bowser or Donkey Kong, but from the alien Tatanga. Super Mario World, first released on November 21, 1990, brought with it many iconic characters who were lucky enough to be chosen to be runners. We have Yoshi, our faithful dinosaur Corsola, the mole Monty and the dolphin who helps out in one of the secret levels. And the enemies that came from here were the Peso, the Vampire, the Placapum, and the Floruga. Everyone's favorite antihero, Wario, is next on the list, acting as the main villain. This great character made his debut in Super Mario Land 2 and he did so on October 21, 1992. On August 5, 1995, two of the most crying babies the series has ever seen were literally born. Or well, one of them cries, at least. In Yoshi's Island, the different Yoshis have the mission of reuniting baby Mario with his little brother, baby Luigi, as well as rescuing the poor stork from the clutches of baby Bowser, who is not the first appearance of Bowser Jr., despite how similar he may be, because he is the father of Infante. The character that has been bullied the most by players in the history of video games has to be the poor little penguin. Anyway, this Cliff Rider originated in Mario 64 on June 23, 1996. Our magnificent goddess, the most popular in the game by far, the cow, made her first appearance on December 14, 1996 in Mario Kart 64, where she was part of the decoration of the Moo Moo Farm, doing nothing but watching everyone race. However, another racer in Kart World made his debut more as an obstacle, the snowman who would send flying anyone unfortunate enough to crash into them. Maybe you think I'm wrong and tell me the first time was in Mario 64, but no. This snowman is not the same. The one in Mario 64 is called Mr. Blizzard. Poor Waluigi, always a secondary and filler character, never a main character. Anyway, this skinny and totally envious character was born in the Nintendo 64 version of Mario Tennis on July 21, 2000, where he was one of many playable characters. Although King Boot had a slightly different appearance, he first appeared in a game on September 14, 2001, when he served as the main villain of Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. He depicted Mario inside a painting and Luigi had to defeat him to return his brother to normal. Continuing with 3 characters, 2 villains and 1 good one, Pico Quack, Bowser Jr., and El Pianta. All 3 appeared in Super Mario Sunshine on July 19, 2002, and as I said, the first 2 were villains. Pico Coo, a normal one, and Bowser Jr., Bowser's son and main antagonist alongside his father. Meanwhile, the Piantas are a peaceful tribe from Fino Island. Now let's move on to Toad, who is a very special case because, look at her current design. She was introduced in Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube on November 7, 2003, as Toad's partner. But technically speaking, her debut was in Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64 on August 11, 2000, because there is an inhabitant of Town who, although in Spanish and English her names were Te Anna and Vanna T, respectively, in Japanese her name was Kino, the same name by which Toad is known in the land of the rising sun, and they have exactly the same signature. She is sweet, but she cries so much in her original game, that sometimes it made you want to throw the console out the window. Yes, I'm talking about Baby Peach, who made her debut on the Nintendo DS, more precisely in Mario and Luigi, Partners in Time in 2005. Perhaps few people know this, but Rosalina's great stature was designed from the beginning specifically to consider her a heavyweight character in Mario Kart. That's despite her first stellar appearance in Super Mario Galaxy on November 1, 2007 as the Guardian of the Stars, who Mario or Luigi must help get the stars to restore enough power to the planetarium. When Mario Kart Wii came out on April 10, 2008, Nintendo decided to include a new baby in the roster, Baby Daisy. The Peeping Ghost, the Katina, the Bumblebee, and the Mon Frog jumped from the screens in 3D on November 3, 2011 in Super Mario 3D Land for Nintendo 3DS. They were all enemies, and yes, I know what you're going to say, that the Mon Frog first appeared in Super Mario 64, but no, they are completely different enemies. The other one is simply called Coin Purse and doesn't even use its opening as a mouth like the Mon Frog does. Next up is Navet Kaku Gasapo, and he's one of the characters that came out first in America than in Japan, since the game where New Super Mario Bros. You Was Born came out a day before in the United States than in the land of the rising sun, more precisely on November 18, 2012. His role there was basically to troll us, stealing objects and having to chase him to get them back. These enemies that rush to bite us as soon as we pass near them are the Picacores, whose premiere game was Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, which came out on November 21, 2013. And if we had Baby Peach and Baby Daisy, Rosalina also had to have her toddler version, so when Mario Kart 8 was released for Wii U, this character was born. This happened on May 29, 2014, and as I'm sure everyone knows, he's already one of the many playable characters that the game had. If you enjoyed the video, it would help us a lot if you subscribed with the bell icon and left us a like. Thank you very much for your attention. See you later. Yeah,